Hello Capricorn, and welcome to your reading for the weeks of July 9 through 22, 2024. This is a reading if you're a Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, Capricorn Rising, or have some other significant Capricorn placement in your chart. If you're new to this channel, welcome, it's good to have you. And if you're returning, welcome back. If you do like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to keep getting notified about these videos and the other videos that I do. I have a morning coffee with Breach that I do on Instagram, and I upload those videos here, as well as my channeling sessions with Archangel Azrael that I also upload here. And I may have some other new videos that I'm going to come out with as well. I do have one on Rahani healing, which is something that I do and that I highly recommend to people. For more information about the other kind of work that I do, if you check the description box below, you'll have a link to my website and to my social media. So with that all said, let's begin. Okay, so starting here with the Cartouche deck, which is my first layer, and then I will add tarot to that. Okay, so it seems like there's whatever issues you're having this week, Capricorn. I feel like maybe there have been things that I think you've been waiting for certain things to happen, and perhaps you're feeling very impatient, maybe a little grouchy about it too, or just maybe irritated with the lack of progress. Okay, there's a sense of frustration here in the first house because with Seth here, this indicates that you are that usually when where Seth shows up is where there is a difficulty in the reading, or where there's a difficulty overall, and that is the first house. So that would be saying that you might be the author of your own difficulties this week, and really I think the good news about that is that if you are worried that something in your external environment is bad or is not going to work out, or that you're concerned or worried about, the worry is more with you and maybe just a reaction to past events. Because you have Nepothys here, there may be, again, there's like a cloudiness to Nepothys. We're not really certain. There's something that has not happened yet that we're waiting for. And this may be making us nervous, it may be making us worried, saying, oh my God, what if things don't happen? What if this doesn't happen? It's a normal thing that we all do. But I say it's good news here because if it's you, then you can adjust your way of thinking. I mean, that you can just simply say, okay, you know what, and I realize easier said than done sometimes, but I just need to learn how to trust. I need to not let my mind take over. I need to not be worried about uncertainty, because we all have to live with uncertainty. So, yeah, so I feel there that the good news there is I'm not seeing Seth showing up in another place. So this says to me that if Seth showed up in a different house, then that would suggest to me that perhaps there are actual issues going on in that house right now, or blocks or challenges. But right now, what that means is the only person blocking you is you. Some interesting stuff with finances here. I'm wondering if some of you are dealing with either legal issues, legacies, gifts from family, something around money or a joint finances. Maybe it has to do with a spouse, because you have Earth here in the 8th house. Okay, this usually comes up when this is a joint finances house, in addition to being a house of transformation and change. And the fact that I'm seeing it with Crook and Flail in the 2nd house suggests to me that there could be money coming from a legal source. So this could be a contract that's settled. It could be an inheritance or something like that, if that's on the table for some of you. I don't know. I'm not predicting that. Let me put it this way. If there's nothing like that is happening for you right now, I'm not suggesting that it's going to, but there's definitely seems to be some kind of money coming from a legal settlement. It could be, for some of you, it could be from a divorce. I mean, it could be from monies that are owed to you from a job or a settlement from something. Whatever it is, there definitely seems to be money coming from an authority figure here, and there definitely seems to be something legal around it. I mean, the Crook and Flail in the 2nd house can also have to do with the way we have to deal with taxes and things like that, legal matters that are around that. But the fact that we've got Earth in the 8th house tells me that there's some joint financial situation going on here. Now, if there's nothing legal going on, then this would suggest to me that perhaps there's going to be a raise in your financial status. Like maybe somebody's going to get a promotion or something like that. That's the other possibility with this card. Either way, I feel like it's good news. Crook and Flail can also indicate the need for self-confidence and self-discipline. So, so take that as it resonates there. There seems to be, okay, we've got Ankh here in, I'm wondering if somebody hasn't had a recent loss. If you have, and if if that aspect applies to you, then this would be a specific message for you. I don't want to say this is the general message, because Ankh in the 6th house to me sometimes comes up when somebody has had, when somebody has been dealing with an illness that might be long-term or life-threatening. And again, I'm not, I don't want to freak anybody out with that, because I'm not suggesting that you have something like that. This doesn't feel like you. This feels like there's been a concern about this kind of thing. Now, the good news about Ankh in this house is that if there has been a concern, let's just say you've had a health concern and you're saying, oh, I'm worried that this is going to be something more serious. Even if it turns out that what the diagnosis was something that where they said, oh, yeah, this is serious, or it's chronic, or it's long term. This is definitely a card of long life. Okay, that's the good news, because the reason I say that this comes up when people might be concerned about a life or death situation, and this is basically talking about life. Okay, so how is it put? Cracked clocks last the longest. So even if there has been a health issue, there does seem to suggest that it's not going to affect somebody's longevity. Okay. That said, I think if there has been something recent going on where there has been a recent passing of somebody in a family, that might be why that's showing up with a card that's potentially about a legacy. So again, I feel like that's a very specific message for somebody watching. I don't feel that's generally for everybody. So again, only if it applies. If you're saying, gee, nothing like that's going on in my family or around me or whatever, then that's not for you. So I don't like to kind of mention those things, but it is kind of jumping out at me that might be an interpretation. But again, yeah, with regard to other health matters, this does seem like, doing, this is basically a card of very vitality and good health and long life. So that's the good news about it. Also in the 6th house, and also looking at Scarab over here in the 10th, this does make me think that maybe you've had a career change recently, or you're doing something new. And whatever you're doing, it may be something closer to your heart. I mean, Ankh can literally have to do with things around love and passion. So if any of you started an OnlyFans or something, I mean, that could be a thing like that for some people. But and that's generally how Murray Hope would who the creator of Cartouche sort of implied that kind of interpretation with this when it came to career, but not in my experience. In my experience, this is just more about where your heart is, what you love, what makes you feel vital and alive. So you may have made some changes recently as far as a job or your career, and I feel like these are changes you're going to be very, very happy with. Certainly, if things seem like they're difficult now, this is definitely suggesting something that speaks to you and that makes you feel alive. Okay, so that's good. Also, if there are pet issues, this is also a good omen if you have a pet that's had some kind of health issue or something. This does seem to suggest a long life. Okay. Yeah, we do see this new idea of new career or career changes recently. If you haven't changed careers, then something is going to change. Again, for some of you with Crook and Flail here, this could mean a promotion. But there's this idea that you're looking into doing something. There's something new that's happening. Perhaps some of you have left a job recently and have started a new one, or you're just ready for a change. You're ready to do what makes you happy. So yeah. I feel like in that case, I mean, if there's not a legal issue around legacy or something, this Earth card here could mean that you're making a change away from maybe, kind of a regular job that you made money at to something a little closer to your heart. And maybe this is saying there's going to be joint financial support. That's another possibility here as well. But again, there's a strong legal component here, so I'm not quite, I do feel like that definitely applies for somebody. Okay, so we're seeing short distance travel here. We have water here in the 3rd house. So this would be a short trip, maybe of significance. There may be something emotional about it with water showing up here. This could also just have to do with very emotional communications or something happening quickly or flowing, having to go with the flow of a particular situation. If you're somebody who's in your own business, having the water card here suggests to me that, yeah, there may be a sense that maybe on the credit debit system, maybe there's credits coming in and then debits going out. Sometimes there's this kind of back and forth, but this is basically just saying go with the flow of whatever's going on right now. What else do we see here right off the bat? Yeah, it seems to be protection in the home or regarding a home situation. We have Anubis, so there does seem to be something to be negotiated. Maybe some of you are selling a home or negotiating something, or maybe some of you are dealing with family issues. This has a lot to do with, this is the house of family and home, so there may be something in which you feel like you need to be protected. or maybe it is suggesting you are protected, or are, there's some situation that may, again, require some diplomacy, some navigation, going at something with a sense of humor, rather than, maybe creating tension. It's about kind of working your way through a potentially difficult situation. So this is connected to the home. And just looking up here, being we're seeing legal stuff, I want to look at the 9th house, and we have Hathor here. So Hathor is a card, okay, this is a strongly feminine card, so there's a number of possibilities in the 9th house. If this does have to do with a legal matter, this could be a woman that is at the center of it. And the woman could be the person who the legal matter is around, or it could have to do with a lawyer, it could have to do with somebody, I don't know. There's definitely a strong feminine energy here, or a strong sense of needing to get something organized. There's a strong Taurus or Virgo vibe to this. But this is a woman. Again, it's very domestic here, which is why I'm wondering if there's some kind of domestic thing going on here with family stuff here for somebody. But it does not have to be the case. This definitely has a strong mother vibe, but it also has a strong organized business person vibe to it as well. So Hathor is about, I kind of compare it to the Empress a little bit, maybe kind of, in some ways, almost a combination of the Emperor and the Empress. As far as learning goes, this is a house of higher education too. So if there's nothing legal going on, this could have to do with learning astrology or something like that, because Hathor does have to do with esoteric astrology. And it can also be learning some kind of skill that we generally associate with femininity. So I don't know, learning to sew, learning to knit, learning to crochet, learning to cook, something like that, doing hair. Like there could be something about that where one is educating themselves or furthering their education in some way with something like that. Or just something more generally connected to the feminine. I mean, I'm planning on starting my own school that is has to do with feminine myth. So, and it's higher ed. So probably this card, I mean, I'm not Capricorn, but this could come up for me there, potentially. Just saying that that's another possibility of looking at, education or something around what is feminine. So, So take it as it resonates. It's not going to be the same for everybody. As far as love and love relationships goes, if you are somebody looking for love, I feel like things are kind of stable right now. If you're in a relationship, I feel like it's kind of it's stable, it's secure. May not really be going anywhere, but it's also not in a bad state. Like Cyrus to me feels very kind of solid and settled and in one spot, rather than something that is moving and changing. And we do have Isis over here in the 7th house. So this, it's interesting. Now, the 7th house is the house of, is Libra. So this typically has to do with marriage and marriage partnerships. And so if you are married, this could be either you or your partner taking on a more motherly role or needing to show compassion to each other. So there's a strong compassionate vibe to this card. This can also, though, it's interesting because this can also sometimes indicate legal contracts, legal matters, and things, as well as the 9th house. And the fact that you have Hathor and Isis, for somebody, I feel like this has to do with the mother or their mother energy. I don't know. Take it as it resonates there. There may be, but this often has to do, this can have to do with that because, as we know, Libra is the scales of justice as well. If none of that is your situation, we could look at Isis also as a situation where one has to be compassionate, one should be patient. If this is about a love affair, this may be something slow growing and you just need to be kind of patient with the person and not rush them. Like I said, if you are already married, there may be a situation in which your partner needs to, your partner is the person who's being very compassionate, or you are. So now we are seeing, you've got Buckle of Isis showing up in the 12th house, in the Pisces house. So this generally indicates a separation of some kind. It's a separation from the collective. This is a symbol of birth, the Buckle of Isis. So this is and it's also about giving something up, something we have to give up in order to gain something else. And it's showing up in our house of fear or self-undoing. So I feel like there's some kind of a sacrifice that we're making or being asked to make, and maybe we're feeling reluctant to do that. There's something we have to let go of, and letting go of it will be rewarded. I mean, it will bring you where you want to be. But there's a strong sense here with that there's, in the 12th house and the 8th house in particular, it's like that one is, kind of fragmenting off from something or changing something or ending a pattern or doing something. There's something that you're doing, but it's actually to your benefit and to the benefit of the collective, even though this may involve a separation from the collective, if that makes sense. I mean, overall, you've got the winged disc. So yeah, if we've got this Seth energy here of I'm worried, this is saying, don't worry, you're home and dry. You know, you got it, okay? So everything's looking good. Let's clarify your reading here with tarot. So, let's see what we've got. Let's start flipping some cards. Okay, yeah, you've got the Hierophant in the first house. So I think you're taking a very traditional, tried and true, looking at things from that perspective. And I think you are, you're looking at something in a very, very traditional kind of a way. And I think this is blocking you. I mean, we are definitely moving in a space where we are not, where the traditional way of doing things may not be the way to do it, okay? Hierophant can also show up, though, when there's a higher level of commitment. So when it's kind of like, you know, we're being told to put our money where our mouth is, so to speak, where it's saying, okay, you know, now is the time for you to move, you know? And so this may be leaving us a bit unsettled, but yeah, we're looking to tradition here with the Hierophant, and I feel like what this is saying is, you know, Nephthys is sort of the opposite energy. You know, this is more traditional. This is Taurus energy, Virgo energy. It could be your own energy, Capricorn energy. Well, you are a Capricorn, so it does make sense. And this is very strongly Piscean. So it's almost like you're somebody who's an earth sign moving into this space of the, I don't know what's going on. And this is not working out well for you right now. You really want to know, you have to, you know, there may be a sense of traditional values or wanting to do something the tried and true way. But I just feel like, yeah, I'm looking over here. There's the High Priestess over here with Earth. So this indicates something that's hidden. There's also, it's more connected to Nephthys. There's a sense of mystery. There's a sense of what you don't know is coming, and what is, or just what is behind the veil. And you are definitely very solidly an Earth person. So you want to know. I want to see what the details are. I want to know the facts. I want to make a plan. And right now you're not in a space where you're able to do that. So I think this has been a bit unsettling, but it is telling you to just kind of go with the flow, go with intuition here. Yeah, you may be impatient. I mean, I'm seeing the Knight of Imps which is the Knight of Wands in the 12th house. So this Buckle of Isis energy, like you're ready to make a move, and you're restless. There's like a restlessness here. For some of you, this might even be a desire to move, but they're also, or I don't know. Some of you, okay, this just came into my head because this is the house of foreign travel. And what's coming into my head is you need to get busy, you need to make a move, you need to make the sacrifice to make this move happen. That's what I just got in my head. Some of you, if there's anybody watching this who wants to move abroad, it's basically challenging you to do it now, to give up what you need to give up. But also, remember, the 12th house has to do with what we're afraid of. So I think as much as it may be something somebody wants to do, you may also be afraid of what that's going to mean. Anubis in the 4th house here, then, since this has to do with the home, yeah, this could be a sense of, maybe, again, Anubis could also be about travel and as well as protection. We've got the 4 of Imps, which is the 4 of Wands in this deck. So this is about settling down, finding security. But also, as you notice, there's the 11-11 thing going on here. There's like a little gateway here. So it's like you're passing through from one side to the other. You're moving into a new space. You may be reestablishing reestablishing security for yourself. Maybe you're looking for security and protection, because for this to me is a card of accomplishment. Sometimes it has to do with happy marriage, or just the idea of feeling satisfied, accomplishment, and settled in what you're doing. Because and Anubis definitely has to do with protection and so forth. So I don't know, you're at a point where maybe you want to feel settled, but you feel like things maybe are going to be unsettled in some way. Or maybe you're being called to establish security and maybe not in the same place that you're in. Again, take it as it resonates. But I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of people who are kind of focused on the home right now, or at least focused on a sense of feeling at home. Okay, so we've got the 3 of Imps over here with the Water card, and this is in that house of business and communications, things like that. And this is a card of collaboration, okay? So we have the 3 of Imps or 3 of Wands. This is you trying to manifest stuff. So if you have your own business, like you're trying to manage, you're trying to make changes here, trying to be less, things flowing in, flowing out. You're trying to maybe collaborating with some other people, reaching out, finding out what your resources are. There's definitely a sense to there's looking out over the water here, and we have water. So I don't know. You may be looking to expand your horizons or your opportunities. With regard to communications, yeah, this is about the back and forth with people, reaching out, finding out who's in your corner, who you can work with on what it is that you're doing. It doesn't have to be about work and business, but there is definitely the sense of there's a threeness there. So it's you working with other people is the way that I always feel that. You have the star over here in the second house. So, wow, this is actually a very good card when it comes to money. Maybe you've been feeling very vulnerable lately with regard to finances, in which case Crook and Flail may be telling you to be confident. But it does feel like there's something happening here. Star comes after the Tower, so I feel almost like if there's been some difficulties or crises around money, this is about now hope and new possibility. This is also sometimes considered to be the wish card, so this may be getting a wish as far as your finances goes. So yeah, if things haven't been good, then it seems like they're going to get good, so that's really good. You've got another 3 energy over here, and when we're talking about again, this 5th house, this Leo house, I was talking about this in terms of love affairs earlier. This can also be about creative projects, can also be about children. When we have the 3 of Ghosts, sometimes we are talking about a situation where a child is involved. But again, we have this element of 3. I feel like you have 3 of Imps and you've got this. This is like a celebration, okay? So I don't know. For some of you who are looking for love, maybe you're going to meet somebody at a party or something like that, because this has a strong party vibe. Osiris is usually connected with Aries or Sagittarius, okay, in terms of its energy. So I don't know if this is a fire sign person. Again, does not have to be. But there's the idea of something solid or meeting somebody solid, and again, there's this idea of a group or a group effort. Now this is interesting, because I'm looking over here at the 7th house. I always try to, if I'm thinking about love affairs, I always look at these in tandem, because the 3 of Ghosts sometimes indicates a third person or a third party who's involved, but I'm also not seeing that this is a problem. So I don't know, maybe if there's a friends that hang around you a lot, I don't know if those friends are factoring into what you're worried about. In fact, it does seem like you have some kind of worries about a relationship, or maybe you just have some worries about your partner. But 9 of Bats just indicates to me, I feel like it goes back to this. It's like you're worrying about something that's not happening. And you have the 6 of Imps here. So again, there's that strong fire energy with somebody. Somebody who is victorious, or this is about somebody who's taking on a leadership position. And it seems like, for you, what you need to do is you or them, could be either way, needs to either show compassion or show a little bit of patience with somebody. Because I feel like, there may be something going on here. Maybe these third parties, maybe because your partner may be somebody who's very recognized, or is now maybe assuming a leadership role. Maybe they've gotten the promotion over here. I don't know. But there's something here for which maybe they're being recognized, and perhaps this has you worried. Maybe you're worried about third parties coming in and messing up what it is that you have. But I don't really see that that's something that's happening. If that's not on the table for you, then again, there just seems to be, there's this idea of achieving a victory, but there's some worries about it. And again, if you are married, this is either you or your partner, but there's something going on, something that does represent a victory, accomplishment, or recognition, but there's definitely seems to be some concern around it. So, but the advice it's giving you is just be patient and be compassionate, whatever that is. Okay, so yeah, 4 of Pumpkins is showing up over here with the Ankh. And this is a card of kind of, again, this idea of being stable. You got the 4 of Imps here, you've got the 4 of Pumpkins here. The idea of let's just try to keep things stable, secure. Let's just keep things together, or as they are right now in a situation. If this has to do with a job, it could be a job where, I don't know, maybe there's a situation with work where maybe you have an opportunity to do something you really love, but maybe you're thinking, well, I want to just do what's tried and true. So in which case the 4 of Pentacles would be telling you here, this is a situation where you want to follow your heart. You don't want to just do the same old thing. If you have an opportunity to do something new, don't walk away from it just because you're concerned about losing what you have, because you're not going to lose what you have. You've got the star over here. I mean, you're moving into something better financially for sure. So I think it's telling you not to just try to do things just because you feel it's the most secure thing to do. You need to follow your heart here. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, we have Temperance up here with this ninth house Sagittarius energy. So yes, Temperance suggests something that's happening that you don't really have to put a whole lot of effort in. Like something's just gonna come to you. Temperance is about integration and about finding balance and peace in situations. So to see this up here, yeah, I just feel like there's some kind of a situation where that's where something's going to there's something very peaceful about this. So I don't know if this, again, the fact that it's the ninth house and that this has to do with, again, higher education, Jupiter energy, expanding your horizons. Maybe what this is suggesting is that you're seeking balance. You're looking for a way to take disparate elements that are in your life, things that are going on, things that you've learned, and trying to integrate them to kind of make them go together. Maybe some of you are working on feminine integration. Doesn't matter whether you're male or female. There could be some kind of a feminine with a capital F integration that's going on, maybe some lessons around that. But Temperance does seem to indicate, there's something alchemical about it. It's where you can take opposite things and find a way to make them fit together. So I think this is actually a very, very good card and very good omen. It feels to me like you are expanding into a space where you can be peaceful, where you can you can take advantage of new opportunities, and maybe where you're going to be freer as well, because there's a lot of freedom that's connected with the ninth house as well. If we go back to the idea of a legal matter with this, then Temperance would indicate balance and fairness is what I'm thinking. I mean, it's not the same as the Justice card, but it does seem to indicate a harmonious outcome or solution. Okay. So let's look at the 10th house again. We had mentioned something new, and wow, 6 of bats. I don't know, for some of you, yeah, remember I'm seeing Anubis down here. There could be a move, or there could be a journey across water with this, because the 6 of bats is about doing something new and doing it. This to me often indicates going somewhere else or doing something somewhere else. Now, the fact that I have water down here, this may have to do with business. Okay. If this has to do with a self-employment, we have water there, we have water here. It might end up being a financial opportunity, and we have the water here too, if you look at the card. There may be a financial opportunity that is somewhere over water. Now, that could be abroad. Remember I said this could be having to do with something abroad for some of you. But it could also just be literally like, oh, I have to cross a bridge to get there. Like I'm crossing a river, I'm crossing a bridge. There's something about crossing into another space to do that. But 6 of bats also, or 6 of swords, 6 of bats in this deck, is there also something of the element of temperance in the sense of maybe you've been in a very conflicted or restricted situation. Maybe there's been some struggles going on. And again, this is that movement into a calmer water. 6 of swords can also be, okay, I'm moving out of a very stressful space. Like the change I'm making is to move from a stressful space to one that is calmer. But there's a lot of water around this. And yeah, so I think there's a lot of feelings involved, but I also feel like this for some of you, this may be a literal move of space. Now, yeah, with this, okay, we didn't really talk about the Aquarius house, the 11th house. We have the Lotus here, so this is telling you that you need to calm anxieties and not worry. But we have it with the 10 of bats, which is the 10 of swords. So to me, this is an element of something that has come to an end. So I don't know if it's a friendship that's come to an end, if you have a goal that has maybe something you'd wanted to do and now you've just had to walk away from it, give up on it. There's something, though, this is something about a very, very strong ending. Now, in this one, we don't have, normally you'll see the person with all the 10 swords in their back. This is where we just have a woman, and it's interesting because it almost looks like she's laying in the water and kind of she has the 10 bats over her. Maybe she could be laying on the ground too, but there's a watery element here. So I feel like this actually, in this deck, may symbolize more the end of emotional drama. Something that has been stressing you out, been dragging you back and forth. This doesn't have the feeling of betrayal to it with this deck. And this is indeed telling you to relax, to not worry. Yeah, we're seeing this worry in the first house. I think you may be worried about certain endings that are occurring or have occurred, and what they're going to mean for you. But I think this is basically saying everything is going to be, whatever's ending needs to end. And yeah, I mean, we see that ending over here with Scarab as well, but there's a movement into calmer water here. So, now we talked about the 12th house. Overall, with the winged disc, we have the Queen of Imps, which is the Queen of Wands. So yeah, you're basically on fire to do whatever's next, Capricorn. Your readings have all been really, really good lately. I don't know. Now, if I'm going to kind of sum up before I do this, certainly any problems and worries that you have right now it's just saying it's tradition, it's traditional attitude. Hierophant to me could be what I call animus energy. And when I say animus, I don't mean in the sense of animosity, although the word is connected. It's more the idea of the animus as that aspect of our soul that is critical of us, and that challenges us all the time. Now, sometimes it's there to challenge us if we're going to do something that's really foolish, but oftentimes it's just criticizing us just for the sake of doing so. You're not doing it the traditional way, therefore you're doing it the wrong way. Like there's an element of that. And this is saying that may be something that's coming in. And we all have that voice that comes in, but it's telling you everything's going to be fine here. Your money's going to be fine. There's money coming in from somewhere. For some of you, this is going to be like a legacy or something coming from family. Maybe there's been a recent loss. But again, not necessarily. I don't want to say that's the general meaning, but that is the meaning for somebody watching this. And yeah, you're being challenged, like a lot of people are these days, to move into a space where you are focused more on your own happiness, your own health, and your own well-being. And for some of you, this may also involve an actual physical move. Okay, you may be moving somewhere. But a lot of emotional stuff around here. And, certain endings that have taken place, maybe that's kind of shaken things up for you. And somebody's definitely going abroad with this Knight of Wands in the 12th house with Buckle of Isis. Yeah, there's like some kind of a move that you're being challenged to make now in your life. And I think there's a lot of worry about this because you are going to be doing something that's kind of outside the box. And you are an earth sign. I mean, Hierophant's usually Taurus energy, but Capricorn can fit in with that as well. It's very Saturn oriented, the way that is. And Hierophant, I feel, has a lot of Saturn element to it as well, because it's sort of the wise mentor or spiritual counselor. But it is very much about tradition. And when I see that coming up in this way, to me, it suggests tradition is a block. You need to be a little bit more, you need to go with the flow over here. Now, I pulled an essential oil oracle card, and we have patchouli oil. That is the card that we have. Our keyword up here is earthly. Aha, it's funny. Capricorn and your earthly, surprise, right? Your trigger statement is, I hate my body. Oh, that's interesting. You know what? Sometimes this could be somebody who has a very poor self-impression of their, because this is the first house, this is your image and how you project yourself. So set there could also mean that some of you are looking at yourself and going, ugh, I don't like what I see. The true statement is, my body is my temple. Remember that you are a spiritual being having an earthly experience. Revere your loyal, sacred body. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, for some of you, maybe this is a change that has to do with how you view yourself, but it might not just be about your body or your physical body. It may also just be about maybe how you think you're going to be viewed by others in a social sense, in terms of what people might think of you. But I don't know. Everything's going to be good. Whatever changes you're making, Capricorn, you are definitely on track, and don't let that critical part of yourself take that away from you or make you change course. There's a lot of worry that goes on here that is not about anything real. Yes, there are changes going on, and earth signs as a general rule don't deal that well with change, but these changes are all happening. You're going to see that this is going to lead to a spectacular place for you. I mean, again, some of you this is a physical move, some of you this could be an inheritance or a gift. But in all cases, everything looks like there's a lot of hope and a lot of possibility here, and definitely the overcoming of obstacles. So great reading for you again, Capricorn. Have a great rest of your July. We'll catch you later, closer to the end of the month, and catch up with you again soon. Take care.